In this lesson, we are going to learn how to create a summary statistics table. In our last lecture, we created this new categorical variable called Jane underscore small underscore house, which has 4 categories at the intersection of people's PP gender value and then whether they were living in a smaller house or not. In this lecture, what we're going to do is for these 4 groups as indicated by the 4 categories, we want to estimate their average financial well-being score. So what does that mean? Let's have a look at the survey data codebook that we looked at before as well. So first thing that I want to search for is FWB score, so which is the financial well-being score. So I can just copy this, paste it here just to have a better understanding of what this is. So it looks like this FWB score, this variable can take a value between 14 and all the way to 95. So here a higher score refers to more happiness or more satisfaction with the finances. So this is a variable that we'll be using, and our goal will be to calculate the average values and maybe some more summary statistics for this particular variable. Additionally, we want to use another variable in this data set. So this will be the weight variable. So most surveys, if not all surveys, will provide you a survey weight just to correct for different issues that may have happened in the data collection process. So ideally, when you are estimating some descriptive statistics, you want to use these survey weights. The weight variable in this particular survey is called final weight. So these are the 2 variables that we are going to use here. However, note that the low-INC2 dataset that we are working with does not have either variable, and that's because we did not select them when we were selecting certain columns. So let's just add those 2. So FWB score and final weight, and then I can just select this part of the code and click run. So this will bring in the financial well-being score and the final weight variable into our data frame, the data frame that we are working with. Next thing that we want to do is create a comment that I already created. So let's just give the table a name. So let's call this sum stat tab, then use the assignment operator, then type the name of the data frame, which is low-INC2, then use the pipe operator. Next, we want to use a function called group by, and inside the function we want to type in the name of the variable which has the categories that we are interested in. So this will be Jen small house, Jen small house. Next, use the pipe operator one more time and use a function called summaries, and then inside summaries give a name to the variables that we'll be creating, the summary statistic variables. So first one, we can call it average financial well-being score, and then use equal, then use the mean function to calculate the averages. So inside mean, you just type in FWB score because we want to calculate the average value of this FWB score variable. So if I do that and select this part of the code and click run, you can see that this created a new data frame in our global environment. If I click on it, it shows us the average values of financial well-being score for these 4 groups. Now, let's say that we want to create another variable called average financial well-being score weighted. So we want to use the survey weights into our analysis. For that, we'll be using this weighted.mean function, and inside we're going to put financial well-being score one more time. Maybe we also want to create the median FWB score, then equal, we'll be using this median function, put FWB score inside, and lastly we also want the standard deviation. So I'm just naming it SD FWB score. We'll be using the SD function, and inside the brackets I'll be typing FWB score, the name of the outcome variable. Now, one thing that I missed is that I did not put the weight, which I should have put. So this weighted mean function, first you type the name of the outcome variable, which is FWB score, but then you have to use this final weight, that is the weight variable as well. That way you can get the weighted mean for this particular outcome variable. So then I can select this part of the code and click run. Now we have all four summary statistics. So this is the average, this is weighted average, we have the median, and we have the standard deviation. Another thing to note here is that this is giving us how many places after the decimal. So it looks like we have 5 places after the decimal. Maybe we are not interested in this much precision. So maybe we are happy with just 1 place after the decimal. So how can we do that? So we are going to use this round function. So round in front of mean, and then put a bracket, and then put digits equals 1, close the bracket, put a comma. Next we want to do the same in front of weighted mean. So round, and then digits equals 1, and then do it here, round, digits equals 1, and then do it one last time, round, and then digits equals 1, close the bracket, and then we're going to select this part of the code and click run, and then we can see that the numbers have been rounded to 1 decimal place. Now before we end, I would like to mention something here. So in this case, we already created a new categorical variable at the intersection of this and this variable. Actually, we didn't have to create this. We could have just used this and this directly inside this group by function. So the way to do that is just to type the name of the two variables. So pp gender, then put a comma, then use small house, smaller house, and then select this part of the code and click run. So we are getting the same numbers. So this is female, larger house, female, smaller house, male, larger house, and male, smaller house. So this would be another way to create this summary statistics table.